Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently working on getting these power plants built. We're also trying to avoid this revolution. We would really prefer if that didn't end up happening. Airsat's food right now will increase local food production by any means. That's fine. We really don't want this revolution to happen. We do not want to enact national militia. Absolutely not. And we also don't want to fight, like, all of our good provinces. That would not be good either. So we'll see how that ends up going. We are very, very close here to NCO training, and I do think after this we should probably go for something like human rights. That'll be fine. I do also want to get going on some railways here. We're going to need some. So we need one here, we need one here. I'm going to assume these are okay. We're going to need two here, two here. This is going to need a total of, let's see, 5 plus an additional 2. So we need like 1 here. And then this is going to need, that's currently 40, 60, 80, because these are 20 each, right? So yeah, that's 80, 120, and then that would be no, this would be 120. I was wrong there. So 120, then 140, and 160. Okay, so something like that will do. Now we're going to need more government administrations, but let's get these railways underway first, and then we'll get these power plants done, and we'll get at least some of these government administrations going, but we do need to redo our government administrations here. So that'll be fine. Let's see how we do on total separation. Hopefully that just sails on through. That would be ideal at this point. We got an advance. Okay. Enactment success chance. Universal pop political strength. Minimum expected standard of living. I don't think we need that right now. What we need is to bring up our standard of living, but we have financial issues and we need a lot of construction to get our people to work. That's what we need at this moment. To that end, we may actually want to start considering building coal mines in areas with large surpluses of labor. And I think we probably should do that. So coal mines in each of these locations does make sense to me. Anywhere where we have a surplus of labor, I want to get these queued up. Yeah, this is negative construction efficiency. That is understood. There's 60 of these. Let's get that going. And here as well. So basically everywhere in Korea, right? That'll be fine. We can do the same with iron mines, but I'm going to wait for the moment. So I do want to get these... I think what we're going to do is we're going to move up from here. Any of these that are already in progress are going to get finished up, and then we're going to work on these coal mines, is the idea. We need to get people put to work, and coal mines are a good way to do it. But we need to get some of these other constructions done as well. So let's let that get going. We're running a big deficit right now. I don't think there's really all that much to do about it. If it gets too much bigger, we can start worrying about it at that point, but for now I really don't want to raise taxes in any way at all. NCO training has been unlocked. We can't really utilize that, I don't think. Crime and divinity, huh? Plus 10% political movement support. Okay, we're gonna take the Buddhist monk radicalism. I don't like it, but we'll have to take it. We really don't want this revolution to happen. That's the thing. So hopefully total separation will go through relatively quickly here. Fingers crossed on that. And we need to get these power plants finished up eventually too, right? But we're not running a power shortage at this moment. So we're going to let this all finish up. And then we're going to need more government administrations in addition to these coal mines. No doubt about that. This revolution is definitely a little bit on the grim side. That said, we've been seeing the radicalism here going down a little bit. That would be very good to see that actually happen. We want to get these railways finished up and get this market access under control. The low standard of living is absolutely one of our largest problems right now. How do we solve that? A big part of it is just getting these unemployed people to work. That's what we need more than anything right now. So we're going to get these power plants finished up. We're going to get these government administrations finished and get to work on these coal mines. We're not going to build the additional government administrations just yet, but we will eventually need them. So let's see what happens with this tick. It just goes up to 52 and we get vultures on a carcass. We'll try to coax some back here. Losing a little bit of bureaucracy, but I'm not too concerned about that right now. So the trade unions are currently unhappy. Fair enough. Unacceptable government. Yeah. We need to get this passed before we can really change our government, though. So for the time being, it'll have to be what it is. We can drop that further by dropping taxes, but we need to get our finances under control to do that, right? So it just takes time. It's painful to integrate this large of a population, and we knew that. We'll get there. So we're going to be done with these power plants as well as some of these railways fairly soon here. That's actually a very good thing. A very, very good thing indeed. So we're going to get these coal mines underway quite shortly, actually. Very good to know. Very, very good. We need to get these people put to work, right? There's a lot of them. 9 million currently unemployed. When you consider that that's a full third of our workforce, yeah, we got to get that under control. 22.2 million are currently gainfully employed. Now, the peasants are also kind of employed. Kind of. But that 7 million unemployment, that needs work. Absolutely. And we're working on that as quickly as we can here. Revolutionary standoff in Ryukyu. Okay. I don't like the radicalism, but we'll take it for now. It's got to be dealt with, though. Railways in Chubu are finishing up now, so that's good. And we pass into consideration, at least, on total separation. That's something. So that's fine for the moment. We're running a sugar shortage. Could we import some? Yes, we could. I'm going to do a couple of sugar imports here in hopes that that alleviates that a bit. Yeah, it looks like it did. So that's phenomenal. Very glad to see that we're no longer running a sugar shortage anyway. Coal is still expensive, but we'll be getting to that very, very soon here. These power plants are getting close to finished up, although these guys are a ways away. And these government administrations are reasonably progressed, so we're going to get them finished first as well. Then we'll get to work on the coal mines, which the coal mines, those are going to have quite a lot of jobs. And we would definitely be happy to get more jobs in here. No doubt about that. So that'll be good. And we're currently expensive on coal. I would also like to do the same with iron once we have a little bit more headroom. For the time being, we can't really do that. But we'll get there. So these railways are a ways away from finishing yet, particularly the one in Northern Territory. That's particularly grim. The construction efficiency there is very low due to radicalism. Makes sense. Political movement radicalism. I think this might actually be the best option here. Minus 5% political movement radicalism would be pretty decent. The samurai would lose political strength, which actually we want. And minus 25% state penalties from turmoil and mortality for turmoil. Do it. That seems reasonable. We'll definitely take that one. So that's good. That does mean that this is now 65%. I mean, it still needs work. No doubt about that. We are up over 2/3 now literacy. I like it. That's absolutely solid. And yeah, we do need to get more people put to work. There's no doubt about that one. Now, one thing to note is that if we are to swap down to squad infantry here, we're going to need radios. And we don't have any ability to make those at this point. So we should probably consider, after human rights, grabbing telephone into radio. Like that. So that'll be fine for the moment. But we do need to get these constructions underway here. They need to absolutely get finishing up. Our coal mines are being progressed, and they're reasonably quick to build. Reasonably quick. It's not something like, say, if we were building logging camps, those would be much quicker. Actually, we may want to build... Let's just sort by labor here. We may want to build... I queued those up at the bottom. we may want to build these fishing wharves and whaling stations. Those might not be a bad idea right now, specifically so that we can... hang on, I don't actually want these in Western Australia. I only want these in locations that do have large amounts of labor right now. So none of the whaling stations are currently available. Got it. But we can definitely get these fishing wharves going. They'll be relatively quick, and they'll get some jobs going anyway. 5% of servicemen would become more radical. I would really prefer not to have that. Minus 20% barracks building throughput is rough here. We're up to 82% on this revolution. It will lose 10% at the next checkpoint, but this is getting dangerous. We'll see how it ends up going. So these fishing wharves are currently 8 weeks away. By the time they're done, these power plants will be done as well. So we're definitely seeing our unemployment numbers starting to drop. That's very, very good. We also saw our deficit come down a decent amount as well. That is because of our reduced barracks throughput. So we're happy about that one. That's absolutely fine for the moment. If the revolution happens, though, problems ensue. But we're trying to not have the revolution happen. That's the idea here. Hopefully. So do we pass directly through to Ascent here on total separation? That would be good if we did. We'll see how that goes. Nope, we got an advance. Okay. So interest group approval and interest group attraction. Intelligentsia and Buddhist monk attraction. Or rather, approval. What interest group is this? Trade unions. Trade unions? We take that. So the trade unions gaining approval is very good. They're still at -5. This does not appear to have updated. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Well, we'll continue our constructions here. We're going to have these fishing wharves done within, well, not long at all. The procession of provocations. We'll probably let this procession go ahead here. A 33% chance of this being substantially worse, but we'll take it. Okay. Got the good result. Sounds good. Excellent. So we're going to finish up a bunch of these fishing wharves. The railways are very close to being done. At this point, the power plants are completed. We do have these government administrations that still need to be worked on. How are we doing on our market access? It's better, but it's not perfect. Okay. 6.89 million unemployed. We definitely still need to work on that. No doubt about it. But let's continue to work on getting all of this completed for the time being. These coal mines, yeah, they're going to be a little on the slow side, but we're definitely interested in getting this done. We really need to get this coal production going, right? But that minus 23.5% construction efficiency isn't great. We just have a lot of radicals at this moment. It is kind of ticking downward a little bit. So that's good. But our deficit is not as good. That's for sure. We could turn around the deficit, but that would be at the cost of significant radicalism. And I would really, really prefer not to do that. So for right now, this seems to be quasi-okay. Quasi-okay. We're going to be done with these government administrations very shortly here, and we're just cruising away at these coal mines for right now. What is this? Trade unions are escalating their demands. +5 interest group approval. Honestly, I think we take this. I'm okay with the trade unions getting political strength here. Done. So trade unions got +5, but that actually only got us +4 there. Noted. So the trade unions are still upset at us. They're at -1. That's understandable. They're still trying to enact national militia, and we can't exile this guy for a while yet, unfortunately. Hopefully we get total separation enacted very soon here. We are seeing this radicalism kind of head downward, but it's also just kind of holding still, which isn't great. Oh, large numbers of people are migrating from China to Chugoku. Okay. Do we have a lot of jobs available in Chugoku? That's a question. Probably not, if I had to ask. Or actually, if I'm honest. We have 65,000 unemployed people right now. Okay. Well, hopefully they'll migrate around to some of the places where we do have open jobs. That would be ideal. 6.67 million does show that our number of unemployed are dropping. That's very, very good. So we're going to get this final railway and this final government administration built. We're going to need more government administration, for sure. And this is going to tick down by 8.8%. Okay, yeah, that's because of this decimal here. Gotcha. That's fine. That's completely okay for the moment. So that's going to be what, next week? Yeah, next week. Sure. So the revolution will tick down a bit here. It's kind of holding firm at this moment. Radicalism numbers are also kind of holding. 5% of landowners would become more loyalist, and minus 10% landowners' political strength. Minus 3% throughput isn't great. But I don't hate this. Okay, we'll get some loyalists out of that. That'll be a good thing. I say as our loyalist numbers did not budge in the slightest. Okay, well, I guess they did come up a little bit. And our radicalism dropped a little bit as well. There's just not that many landowners, which makes sense. So we're currently at -1 for trade unions. Do they like total separation at all? Do they care about that? I don't think they do. That said, though, we're getting all of these coal mines to start finishing. And that's great. Artistic expressions here. Another advance. Actually, we definitely reward the loyal support of the trade unions. Done. I would love it if the trade unions would leave this. They're currently at +1. The Buddhist monks are unhappy, which makes some sense. But we'll see how this ends up progressing here. The Buddhist monks are very not happy about total separation, which I get that. That is understandable. We are finishing up a number of these constructions, bringing us down to 6.79 million at this point. Excellent. That's solid. We're still building all of these private constructions as well. We need to remember that. The question is, can we get this revolution to go away? Well, we're working on it. Very, very slowly. No doubt about that. Exceptionally slowly. One thing we might want to consider doing. Dropping this. So we drop our conscription centers down to minimum. That doesn't actually change anything. We can actually keep these at maximum. This is fine. But we could drop our barracks down. This would be, you know, mildly awkward for us if we got into a war. Technically, this would be minus 53.6, but I don't think that's accurate. So then we would drop this down like so. And now we're, you know, turning a profit. And we could theoretically drop taxes here too, couldn't we? We could. Let's do it. Revolutionaries are actually raiding the arms depot. And yeah, we brought that down. Fantastic. So with a tax drop, that'll be a good thing. I'm also going to drop our naval bases, perhaps, but not man-o'-wars. Commerce raiders? And naval traditions? It's about even. Okay. Yeah, we'll keep this here. Sure. That'll be fine for now. We're going to be paying down this debt a little bit. We have a lot of interest built up, and this means that we can continue our construction while also lowering taxes. That will result in our standard of living coming up, and also result, in theory, in us paying slightly less in welfare, which would be good. Now, one thing to note here, yeah, this came back down to 69 from 90. Okay, that's a very good sign. That's a very, very good sign. So that's all looking solid. These coal mines have a ways to go. No doubt about that. We've got a bunch of coal mines queued up here still, 4 pages of them. And at this point, I'm wondering, is coal still considered expensive? The answer is yes, and standard of living is definitely a problem. We could consider dropping some of these consumption taxes, particularly glass, and perhaps tea as well. Tea or porcelain. Both of those would be a decent one to drop. How much are people paying on consumption taxes, I wonder? Groceries, clothes, and grain. Okay. And 22.9% of their income in taxes. Most of that is in poll taxes. I would love to change our taxation. To be clear, that would be amazing. Destroyers have been unlocked, sure. 50% chance. Actually, this would be pretty decent. But it's a 50-50. And it dropped. Okay. Nice. So that means that the rural folk gain some approval here. Now, I do see that the petite bourgeoisie have ended up joining in this revolution, but the radicalism is continuing to drop. So that's good. We have an election coming in shortly. False democracy, huh? Peaceful anti-electoralism. Their supporters aren't voting? Ours certainly are. Okay. There we go. So we do hope to pass total separation here very, very soon. Coal mines are going to be continuing to finish at a reasonable rate here. We've got about 4 pages of them left. I want to check in on our unemployment numbers. They've come back up a bit. Okay, that's, I guess, to be expected. And we're also a little bit short on bureaucracy at this moment. So our institutions are really far up there. No doubt about that. And we are seeing our standard of living creeping up here, so that is affecting our radicalism a fair amount. That's good. That's very, very good. We're on medium taxes right now. I wouldn't mind further dropping this, but I think that the right move here would be to potentially drop our consumption tax on tea. I'd like to drop the tax on porcelain, but it's too much. So we're going to do something like that. South Australian crop failure, huh? That will affect the harvest. That's unfortunate. Minus momentum to the samurai is good. We're okay with that. That is absolutely fine. The national militia would reduce the samurai political strength, but we do not want to have this happen under any circumstances. So we've got some self-organization over here. The landowners are not going to be happy about that, but lower strata pops in Korea. Okay, we'll take it, but it's not great. This is going to be dropping from standard of living changes, though, so that should overall be broadly okay. Broadly. So I do want to get some additional constructions going here. But we really do need to be bringing down our radicalism. That number has dropped somewhat, but we need it to drop substantially. It will drop substantially from total separation. That'll be about 2 million, which is, you know, like a 25th of it. But even so, that'll be a useful thing for us, for sure. And then hopefully we can make our government... Oh, we're not actually making progress here because we're illegitimate. Right. So we would need to be at least here. Done. We're not making progress on total separation because of that. Okay, so we're no longer illegitimate, at least. That's something. So that'll be fine for now. And this should continue to drop at this point, the radicalism here. So I think we're going to manage to avoid this revolution. That would be great. We have an election in about 80 days here, and we're not going to pass total separation before then, unfortunately. How are we doing on our infamy? 53? So that can still drop for a while. I'm not too concerned about that. We can drop another consumption tax here pretty soon. I mean, fine art is fine. I would really like to drop it on... perhaps on porcelain? That would be ideal, but that is very expensive, right? That's a painful one. Heavy-handedness is going on here. Who is this? Ruler and politician. Our current emperor should stand down. He'll get failures of judgment for 2 years. their bedfellows may not be so accommodating. That'll be fine for now. So human rights have been unlocked, and so is camera. That's fine. So we have some more law changes that we can do and institution changes. We can't afford the bureaucracy up here, but that's fine. We have a secession movement. The Korean secession is happening. Okay. That's, of course, obnoxious. Our law has progressed to assent. So, yeah, this is obnoxious, but we'll just do it. It's fine. This isn't a big deal. In fact, that will probably significantly help our radicalism. In reality. So this is probably a good thing, actually, that the Koreans would secede here. Yeah, I think it is. We should, however, bring our military wages up to at least here for right now, so that we are actually training up. And we should also probably bring our production methods up a bit. So trench infantry, siege artillery. We can't really go to bicycle messengers, but we can do machine gunners. That'll be fine for now. Minus 477k. Yeah. That's to be expected. We were working on it, but for now, this will be okay. So this guy would get wounded. The Imperial Way Party. Nope. We don't necessarily want the Imperial Way Party to win this. They probably will, but we don't necessarily want that. So the Koreans are going to secede here. I don't think there's any way to stop this at this point. In the hands of the state. Political movement radicalism, no thank you. Okay. So that's fine for the moment. We're going to continue to run these production methods and let our forces work their way up in terms of power. So at this point, these guys are going to break away, right? So all of this construction is going to cease. It's going to be removed here. Yes, there's a combustion engine. Okay, noted. So Korea has seceded, but instantly that drops our radicalism by like 20 million. Like I said, this might actually be a good thing. So total separation is going to pass here, hopefully on the next tick. And we're not actually currently constructing anything at all because of the Korean secession. Everything that we were constructing was in Korea. So for now, this is reasonably fine. We have disappearing interests in Manchuria. Hilarious. But we're going to be fighting in Korea again very, very shortly here. No doubt about that. Pneumatic tools are spreading. We probably have some production methods that we can put in, right? So let's put some of these in. We'll do... We don't actually want automobile production right now. We could go to public motor carriages. I don't think that's useful. Photographic art, we can. That's okay. And then as far as all of these go, let's see. What was this down here? Oh, yeah, chainsaws. Do it. Absolutely do that. That sounds good. Beyond that, I think that's pretty much it. Although oil rigs can go to combustion oil derricks. That's fine. And of course, we can go to squad infantry, but we're not really in a position to do that. So for now, this will be fine. We'll go to motorized reconnaissance here, but that doesn't actually change anything. So that all looks good for the moment. This Korean uprising is going to need to be quelled, but we should be in a much better position after we do that. Our radicalism will not be nearly as bad. So that's great. We want this revolution to go away. I was hoping that this significant drop in radicalism would drop the radicalism here. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to have happened. Support is critical at 103. Okay. And it's mostly because of this guy. We can exile him in 30 months. So we'll see about doing that. That'll be fine. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, the Chugoku Workers Brigades. Honestly? Sure. That seems fine. What could possibly go wrong? We're going to need to take over Korea next episode again, though. That probably won't be an issue. Yeah, that's not going to be an issue. I'm not concerned about that at all. They are currently uncertain, and they should be. This is not going to go well for them. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.